Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a killer week so far. Whew, we just got home just in time. The rain just started pouring. And if you're out here in San Antonio, I think even in Laredo, it's starting to rain as well. Hope everybody's staying safe, staying inside, stay indoors. No need to drive if you don't have to, right? But hey, wanted to come on here once again, another Tuesday's topic. Today I wanted to talk about, market information, and then of course, pricing your property correctly within the market itself. And so, just to start off, a little bit of market tips, a little bit of market numbers, inventory levels, housing out here, properties that are for sale out here in San Antonio are literally half of what they were in February. So I think right now, well, actually, not that I think, I'm seeing right here the numbers is 1,600 properties that are listed right now in the current market. Back in February, there was about 3,200 properties out there listed for sale. And so what is that telling us? Inventory levels are low, and that's only creating more demand within the market itself, creating a higher pricing for the properties. So we have properties that are selling 20, 30, 40,000, 50,000 above asking price, which is pretty crazy, right? But there's so little inventory that the buyers out here are having to resort to offering much more, because there's a lot of buyers attracted to one property and everybody wants that one. And so everybody's having a little bidding war, and that can occur, but that's not always going to occur with every property, right? So, there is the inventory out there, but it usually typically turns down to a few within the block that people are very, very interested in, which creates that bidding war, which creates, higher sales price, right? But, at the end of the day, there is going to be other properties that don't get as much attraction. And why is that, right? Is it the pricing? Is it the interest in the area, or is it, what? It could be either or, right? And so what I say about pricing your property right, when it comes down to, listing your home, whether you sell for sale by owner, you do it on your own, you put it on Zillow, you put it on Realtor, whatever it may be, or you go and put it with the actual agent, you got to make sure that you're pricing it correctly, right? And that's, it kind of falls back into the CMA of last week, that little talk about CMA, understanding what the market is like, understanding what your property the properties in the neighborhood are selling for. If your property is a 3.2, what are other 3.2 selling for? Okay, well, if that property over there had X amount of appliances or granite countertops, what is yours compared to that? And so you can base yourself, understand, okay, well, that one sold for 200, I could sell mine, for 210 because I have more upgrades to it, or whatever it may be. And that's why the CMA is very important, right, when it comes to pricing. And so we're kind of adding on to that. And so, pricing your property correctly, you'll know if you price it correctly, right off the bat. Once you list it, you should be gaining attraction. You should be gaining attraction from buyers, attraction from agents, with buyers that are looking to buy your property, right? And if it's listed at the right price, you're going to gain more views. You're going to gain more prospects, wanting to buy your homes, right? And if you're not getting any attraction, if you're not getting any calls, if people don't want to come see your house, then they might see your property listed too high, right? They might think, oh, well, they're asking way too much. There's no point to go and negotiate, right? So pricing your property is very, very important. Pricing it the right way is very important. Understanding the CMA, understanding what the properties are selling for, understanding what your property brings to the table, all plays into key factor of getting your property sold for as much as possible, netting as much as possible, not just putting it out there and hoping, kind of like casting a little hook. You don't want to maybe get it sold or maybe get a few attractive buyers. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that if you're going to sell it, you're going to sell it at the right price, and you're going to get it as much attraction, as much offers as possible, right? So especially with the market being as hot as it is and inventory levels being as low as they are, if you price your property correctly, even if you price it lower than what it should be, or maybe higher than what it is, there's the pros and the cons, right? So some people, of course, everybody's entitled to selling for the price they want, right? But now you got to be a little more realistic. Okay, can my property really sell for this price, right? Or is it going to sell around here in between, right? Like what I like to do is I like to look at a range, what the price could sell for. I'm not gonna go and say, well, this is the price that it's at, and we're gonna list it at this price. No, I want to give you options and tell you, okay, well, you at least could sell between this window. I think if we list it at this price in between, we at least gain the attraction of both sides, and we could see more or less where the offers are coming from, and gain more attraction, gain more buyers, more agents coming to the house, coming and checking it out, putting in those offers, and making your property more attractable in that aspect, right? So pricing your property is very, very important, especially getting it sold. Yes, market is extremely high and everything is selling, right? Majority of things are selling right off the bat, but average days still on the market are still at 60s, 70s days, 70 days on the market. So if the longer you hold, right, the longer you have this property in escrow with the title company, the longer the days that it's holding on the market, the more you're paying at closing, right? Because the holding period that the title company is going to charge you is going to be a lot longer than if you sold it within 30 days, or if you sold it in 60 days, or if you sold it in 90. It's going to be a different price that you're going to pay at closing. And so if you price your property correctly, it's going to sell in 30 days. It's going to sell in 45 less. So pricing your property correctly is very, very crucial, very, very important. Going back to the CMAs, understanding what your property has to offer compared to other properties that are either selling or have been sold, and just understanding, getting a realistic standpoint as far as price, as far as where I could go, where I could get the most for my property, and then of course what is going to really sell for. And so obviously understanding what your property brings to the table is one aspect, which is the CMA report, understanding what is going on in the market, understanding your neighborhood, understanding the areas, understanding your property truly helps you price the property correctly, whether you sell it by yourself or you sell with an agent, right? So, with that being said, I am still offering people the free CMAs. If you do message me and ask me, hey, what can my property sell for, or what is my the property current value, I'd love to send you guys a simple report. That way you can stay on top of your property and the neighborhood itself. And so whenever the time comes, you're able to price it correctly and not be stuck sitting there wondering, am I going to sell this or not? Am I going to gain more attraction or not? So, obviously pricing your property correctly is very, very important to getting your home sold, especially with the market being the way it is. Now, of course, inventory levels are low. So as soon as you kind of hit the market, you should be gaining attraction. You should be getting offers. You should be getting calls about, hey, when can I come see it? Hey, are you negotiating? Hey, are you in an option period? Or kind of understanding what you need out of the property, right? What you're looking for as the seller. And you should be gaining that attraction if you price it correctly, right? So that's very, very important, especially if you sell later down the road. If you're not even invested yet, it's very important to understand the pricing situation of the properties themselves, and understanding how to price it correctly, how to be strategic with your pricing, and understanding the ins and the outs of pricing it too low, pricing it in the middle, pricing it too high. Each have their pros and their cons, and so you want to make sure that you get the most out of it, right? So you don't want to price it too low, right? But you don't want to be sitting on the market too long, so you don't want to price it too high. So having an understanding strategically where you could really sell for is going to help you in the long run and help you pay less closing costs at the end of the transaction, right? So you don't want to be sitting on the market for 200 days and then have to pay for each day that you were at escrow. So with that being said, if you ever have any questions as far as pricing your property correctly or getting your property sold in an X amount of days, if you have a time limit, or hey, I need 10 days to sell this, or I do have connections with a lot of investors who do buy properties a lot faster than your typical first-time home buyers, right? So there's the ins and there's the outs. There's different types of buyers. You're going to get your cash offers, you're going to get your conventional loans, you're going to get your FHAs, and each are going to have their own time frame to close, right? So understanding what type of offers I want to accept, what loans I'm accepting for my property, who do I want to work with the most? Do I want a cash buyer that is going to close in 10 days? Or do I want an FHA buyer that's going to close in 45? Everything plays into effect with your own situation, with your own property, and understanding that before you get into the market, understanding that before you price your property in the market is very, very important. So obviously, I'm always here to help you guys, guide you guys into the right direction, give you guys the right information, the right information as far as, what the property is selling for, market data, all that good stuff that is going to allow for you to price your property correctly and get it sold in the right time frame and not just have it sitting there for days, right? So with that being said, just want to make this quick and short, simple, to the point. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Stay tuned for these Tuesday topics. We're going to keep on bringing more value, more information, more knowledge for everybody, whether you're looking to buy, sell, invest. Maybe you're renting right now, want to know what to do. How do I get started into buying, or how do I get started into investing? There's a lot of opportunity out there. They're everywhere. The more that you look into opportunities, the more opportunities come find you, especially in real estate. There's always something here in the market. So feel free to reach out. I'm always here to help. I'm always here to guide you guys in the right directions. And I'm always here to, just continue building, continue providing knowledge, continue providing value. So be on the lookout for these next videos. Stay tuned. Keep sharing these, keep liking these, and stay blessed. All right, stay safe.